This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
Van Halen here at Q104.3. It's 8:04. He's an incredibly successful movie and television actor. He is a comedian. He is an author. He is a composer. He may live out west, but he's still one of ours.
He still sounds like one of ours.
Would you please welcome Paul Reiser?
Hey, good morning. You know what's so funny? I actually been in L.A. longer than I lived in New York, but I still consider myself New Yorker. And my kids, who are in their 20s, grew up in L.A., but have a New York accent, and nothing makes me prouder.
Yay!
They just sound like.
Well, it also enhances their prestige among their peers.
I don't know about that, but when I hear them, I go, "Oh, you sound like a New York kid."
Well, just for a quick rundown.
Yes.
Since there's a SAG-AFTRA strike on,
yes,
and Paul is not able to promote any film or scripted dramatic television projects that may be in the works, but I can certainly remind you that he was nominated for an Emmy for his work in the Kominsky Method.
Love that show.
And then there was The Stranger Things.
Yes.
And the legend is the character
on the boys.
On the boys. Yeah, you don't have to say it. I'll say it. I'll say it for you. And of course, there was Mad About You.
Of course.
For all those years, and the Beverly Hills Cop series of films. Diner, Whiplash, Aliens, so much.
I'm exhausted just from hearing this.
So much.
But we can't talk about any of that.
No, I can't talk about anything.
Award-winning stuff, but there's still plenty to talk about.
We can talk about whatever. Yes,
there's still plenty to talk about. You went to Stuyvesant High School?
That's
you
how
did?
smart I am. Yes. Is that good?
That's like the best school. It's so tough to get into.
Well, look at me. How do you think I got this job?
Well, Stuyvesant High School is arguably the top public high school in the United States.
I don't know. It always has been highly regarded. I also lived at the time 3-minute walk, so
really?
That was really.
Yeah, but a lot of other people who have 3-minute walks to Stuyvesant are not going to go to class there.
Wait a minute. So where'd you grow up? What street?
I grew up in Stuyvesant Town at 14th Street. And
Stuyvesant Town and Peter Cooper Village.
Right.
Yes.
Now, one of those developments, they were like almost twin developments, but one had air conditioning and one didn't.
Yes, I was in the not. I had the not air conditioning. So we had the big fans that you would stick your face in the summer, and so you could hear your voice go. You do that for an hour or two. That was always fun.
But Paul, there's this really extraordinarily difficult test that even academically gifted students cannot pass.
Jim, I think
get into Stuyvesant. I mean, what was that like for you as a kid?
I feel there's a story. Did you not get in? What happened, Jim?
No.
He grew up in the Detroit area.
I'm from Detroit, but I was just so impressed. Because we read so many articles.
They're the top of the top.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't remember it being that difficult.
Well, because you're a genius, obviously.
Yeah, I am quite clever. But we moved a couple of weeks. We downsized and it was cleaning out. That was an effort. Cleaning out boxes of stuff that I had dragged from the East Coast out to West Coast. Anyway, in one of these boxes was stuff from high school. I'm dragging around for 50 years. In there was the school newspaper. And the article is like the one political article was by a guy a grade above me. It was David Axelrod.
Oh, okay.
Who was Obama's chief
campaign
genius
manager,
guy.
Yeah.
And
wow.
And the article was amazingly political. I don't know, it was about student unions or I went, even then, he was 16. And I was like, oh, yeah. Also, Eric Holder, Attorney General, went there. So I am almost the dumbest guy there.
Well, after leaving Stuyvesant, you decided enough with academics, let's party, and headed to Binghamton.
Yes. Well, not, yes. It was, where I think my dad liked it because tuition was well over $300. It was, Binghamton was, I don't know. I tell
what were you going to be? What was your...
you ask a good question,
A piano
Shelley.
player.
Well, I didn't have any idea what I was going to be, but I always played piano, so I was a music major because I was kind of like halfway done with the credit requirements just by showing up and playing. But and when I don't want to discourage any kids thinking of going to college. But when my kids were going to college, I said, you don't have to, because I've been out of school 50 years and nobody yet has asked to see the diploma.
Well, your degree was in piano, right?
Yeah, but but it wasn't. I wasn't planning to do anything with it.
Well, a very, very, good friend of mine has a master's in piano performance from Juilliard.
Wow.
And then went to NYU to get an MBA so she could make a living.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, I have not followed a particularly clever career path. Being a comic is like the worst career. Like, try and explain that one to your parents.
Okay, but wait just a second. Let's get back to the piano and music for a bit,
Sure.
because you've also been a successful composer.
Sure. Yeah, I had one. It was always a private thing. I never played really much publicly, and then the only thing was the Mad About You theme song, which I co-wrote with Don Was, genius producer, musician, and so that was a kick. I get letters and emails, and people will tell me they play that at their wedding, which is like kills me. It's like, that's so nice, and I get like 5 cents every time. By the way,
Well, but
You could use it now with
Yes.
the strike.
those nickels add up.
Yes.
Now, without specifically getting into any projects that maybe
Be careful here.
Oh, that's
in the
right. So
works,
it's literally illegal.
Let's
Wow.
just be generic here.
Generic,
Okay, you're a very gifted actor
remarkably talented,
and
also handsome. I don't know if you pick it up on the radio.
and a successful comedian.
Sure.
Now, an actor, you take on a persona of a character that is in most cases created by someone else,
Right.
and the dialogue is written by somebody else, and then you take that and you create the characterization. When you do stand-up, you're you,
Yes.
and what comes out of your mouth is what was in your head.
Yes, it's all your fault.
No, those are two
Yes.
very different skill sets. A few people can pull off both, but they're very different.
They are. And one of the plus and the minus of stand-up, and when I started, that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to be a comedian. I didn't really think past there. And the good and the bad is it's entirely you. You don't have to, there's nobody else to blame. There's nobody else to split it with. But it's also, it's so immediate. You do a TV show, you come up with an idea for a show or movie, you've got to pitch it to a studio, you got to raise money, you got to wait, and then when you do it, you have to wait months and months and years sometimes to find out if it works. And stand-up, it's just immediate. So this is the first time, tomorrow is the first time I've been playing in the city in years. I don't know why, but I've played around the city, but I haven't played in Manhattan.
And you're going to be at the beautiful city winery.
Beautiful city winery on the river. You could actually take a boat right to the show.
Or kayak.
You could kayak. Who needs?
That's why we have the good coffee here. It keeps
Kayak
Shelley
from
going.
Nyack, yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't even mean to say it that way.
Yeah.
She's just so
It's more of a tick now at this point. That it's come down to.
a kayak from Nyack.
Oh, God.
And then there, the 3 best-selling books, as well as the 4 Golden Globe nominations, 11 Emmy nominations. And
You should just call me at home and just cheer me up because you got such a nice, impressive list there.
Well, you created that, but when you are going out onto the stage,
Yes.
as Paul,
Yes.
saying Paul things,
Yeah. Well, people say, "What do you talk about?" And I realized here's the truth: I'm not smart enough to make anything up. So I can only tell people, here's what happened in my house. It made me laugh. Tell me if this is, and people laugh because they go, okay, this guy sounds like my house. And that seems to be the only skill I have here. I'm mad about you. I'm not plugging it because it's already over. But I made that, sort of created that to be as close to myself as possible. I even called myself Paul so I wouldn't get confused because I'm simple. And but that was also, it was a great outlet to bring in stuff from home because we had other, so many great writers, and we would all bring stories from home. And every morning in the writer's room would start with, all right, listen to this fight I got into with my wife. And then you go, okay, somebody type that up because that's really funny.
Okay, well, you've had all this experience on television and film, and besides the fact that our union, the union you're in and that
Yes.
We're in, is on strike, but the writers are on strike
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Now, what can you tell us about
Nothing.
the writers and your career and how important they are?
Oh, essential. I mean, writers, everything you see, or most, scripted shows, are written by very clever people who put in a lot of work and who put in a lot of hours. And the best ones don't look written. When you see something great, you go, "Oh, that just seems so natural," and it's not. It's written by people who stayed up late and ate a lot of crappy food till 3 a.m. So yeah, writers are remarkably important to
because
entertainment.
Because for the most part, they're not famous.
Right.
People don't know who they are.
Right.
But they sure do, contribute a lot to
For
all of
sure.
us.
For sure. Absolutely.
Okay, it's 8:15. We'll be right back. Paul Reiser is with us at Q104.3.
And Paul Reiser is with us this morning, Q104.3.
And tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Paul will take the stage at the City Winery. Now, for our friends who have not been at the City Winery, which is right on the Hudson River, this is the new City Winery. They moved from their original location to this new location on the Hudson
That's
River.
why I waited. I want him to get the kinks out of the system.
There you go.
It's beautiful, but not only that, you get a show and you can order dinner, and the food is really good. And there are a lot of places to go see entertainers in this world that serve food, where the food is an afterthought and it's no big deal. But the food at the City Winery is very good.
So what you're saying is, even if they're not enjoying my contribution, they go, "You know what? He sucked, but the chicken was dynamite."
No, I'm saying that you can go there and have a nice dinner.
A perfect evening.
How was the show? I didn't care for the guy, but that veal piccata with the view of the river.
Oh, veal piccata is good.
Veal piccata is also funny. That is my go-to funny food.
That's what I had for dinner last night.
Really?
Yes.
Look how I sense that
with,
somehow.
With sautéed spinach.
So you're also,
Nice.
Paul, you're talking to the guy who microwaves almost every meal. So the fact
Or
that
he
he eats-
orders out.
Burrata salad plate.
But who are you?
Oh, burrata's good, yeah.
Look what's the
But we're
whole
not
show's
talking
taking
about
a
Paul's
turn.
act.
Wait, what did you have for dinner last
So,
night,
Paul,
Joe?
what is your favorite? What is your favorite food?
Well, let me tell you something. Veal piccata is a go-to funny, and if you don't have the time, milk is a shorter funnier. Milk is always funny. Veal
wrong.
piccata if you have the luxury of time.
Right.
So,
I learn something every day on this show.
so are you at this particular moment?
Yes.
Do you know exactly what you're going to do tomorrow night, or are you going to decide when you walk on the stage?
I was going to talk to you guys first and see what works. I have an idea, but the great thing about the comedy stand-up is it's never the same. Even if you're doing the same set as last night, the audience, it's interactive, so it changes just because of who they are. But I'm working on a special. I'm going to do a special in a couple of months, so I'm kind of honing in on working that set out. So I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but you never know. You could take a left turn.
Well,
And by the way, one of the reasons I'm so excited because things are funnier here in New York. I don't know what it is, but like in a 20-mile radius of the city, I'm funnier. If I go to New Hampshire, a little less funny. I don't know why.
You're home.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I guess. And the audience is faster, and there's just more of a connection. So
they
I'm
say
very
it's
excited.
Paul, he's one of us.
Yeah.
It's
home.
He's home. I haven't been home in a while. I'm very
We
excited.
missed you.
As opposed to there's that guy from New York that's a Hollywood movie star.
Yeah, we
let's
don't
see
need-
what he can do.
He's giving us
Exactly.
pity by
Well,
coming to New
sometimes
Hampshire.
being home, your family can be rougher on you because than elsewhere. But no, I'm excited, looking forward.
You still have family here?
I do. I have a sister that lives in New York, and my son just moved from L.A. He lives in the city now, and people say, "Why did he move from L.A. to New York?" And I said, "Because that's as far as the country goes." Yeah, same reason I moved from New York to California.
Shelley, tell Paul where your kids are.
My kids are in L.A.
Yeah.
and San Francisco.
Yeah, if the country went further, we would have gone
That's
there.
right.
Well, it's the City Winery. It's tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Tickets are available at your own website.
Sure, my own website. That's how well I'm doing. I have my own little dot after my name.
PaulReiser.com. Now that's Paul, R-E-I-S-E-R.
Yeah, you got it. And opening act, a good buddy of mine, Vance Gilbert, who's a terrific singer-songwriter. He's going to do a short set up front. Sort of warm up, lubricate the audience, as it were, if I may use the word in a non-disgusting way. And so it's going to be a great fun night.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
visiting.
you,
So
Paul,
nice to
this
see
morning
you.
Here at Q104.3. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q104.3.